And my husband and I have had many, many animals, horses and dogs, and all of them have had amazing healings at one time or another. And one in particular, I still get kind of choked up when I even think about it. We had several dogs at this time, and they would play around down at a Back Bay area where we live, and one of them got into some very strong poison, and it immediately entered his system, and he started to, within minutes, just show signs of a lot of physical challenges. And we started to pray about it, and this was on a Sunday, and as the days went by, I took time off from my work, and I was specifically praying very hard, probably too hard, making it more of a human intellectual effort, but just that quest to try to understand more about his true spiritual being as a child, an idea of God. And I was remembered working on one particular day, and I left to go out with a friend who actually was the practitioner that I had called to work on the case, and we were horseback riding. And I felt like we were losing this dog because he had lost weight every day. He had not drunken he hadn't had a drop of water to drink, and he was becoming incredibly weak and dehydrated. So for the last couple of days, he hadn't even been able to get up and move around. Anyway, at this point, she said, well, you can trust truth, or if you feel like you need to do something else, then go ahead and do it. And I remembered repeating this to my husband that evening, and he said, no, truth heals, truth works. This dog is loved, and he is not going to pass. And it was interesting because the next day was a Thursday, and we had to go up to Los Angeles. We live in about an hour south of that, to see, we had tickets to go see the Phantom of the Opera. Just before we left, I remembered getting on the floor with the dog, who was on the floor laying there just almost near death. He looked actually dead. And I was trying to stuff water and right rice into his mouth one last time, which he never could process or eat. And all of a sudden, it was like these words were being spoken to me. They were a line from a hymn that Mrs. Eddy had written. And the line was, "Fed by thy love, divine we live, for love alone is life." And I stopped because it was really like someone in the room just talking to me right into my ear. And I thought, this rice doesn't feed him. Water doesn't sustain him. Only love, divine love, makes up his being. And I knew that. We left that evening. We picked him up and we put him in the kitchen and put the little dog gate up. And I want to say at this point, this dog had probably lost almost 20 pounds. It was a boxer. And you could literally lay your fingers into his ribs. He was so thin. His eyes were completely withdrawn and kind of roomy and very milky. He could hardly open them. And I'm only saying that so that you can understand what we came home to that evening. We went to the Phantom of the Opera. We had dinner. We didn't think a thing about it. When I had thought those words, I remembered thinking, love is his life, and it doesn't matter what I see here with my physical senses. I know that he lives and dwells and has his being, that's a Bible reference, in the arms of divine love. And we really knew that. And so we didn't even have to think about him anymore. He was already cared for. So we went to out on our evening, and we came home. We walked into the kitchen, or we walked into the house, and standing at the gate were 3 healthy dogs. And this dog, who had not been able to even stand up for days, was full weight. He had gained, I don't know, 15, 20 pounds. To me, it seemed like 40, but it was amazing. And he had sparkly, shining eyes. And we literally dropped to our knees because, not because we had our dog back, that was wonderful, but it was just witnessing the power of that truth, of that Christ in action, that presence is here and now. It blesses all of God's creatures. Anyway, it's a joyous thing, and so I'm just so grateful for Christian Science and all that it does. Thank you.